Where am I going? This is what I want. Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat at the Inside Lowell Studios. I'm Danielle McFadden, president of the Greater Lowell Chamber of Commerce. I am so excited to have our guest on today. We are going to be talking about the UMass Lowell Women's Leadership Conference happening on June 21st. I have Professor Elizabeth J. Altman with me. How are you?
Great. Very happy to be here.
I'm very happy to have you.
Thank you.
We have so much to talk about. You have a great conference coming up.
Thank you. Yes, we couldn't be more excited.
Yes, and it's just in a few weeks. Let's talk about the origin of the conference.
Okay. So first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's just a pleasure to be here. So 2015, I think it was, I had been a professor for about 6 weeks. I received an email saying, if anyone's interested in thinking about a women's leadership conference, come to this meeting. And what had happened was Chancellor Jackie Maloney had recently started her position as chancellor. And she remembered that years before she had been to a women's leadership conference, and it had really inspired her. And as chancellor, she thought it would be fun and great if we could have a women's leadership conference at UMass Lowell.
Excellent.
So she pulled together this large room of people, and everybody had ideas. And I was really struck that the ideas span when people thought about leadership. I'm a business school professor, so I automatically think about business leadership.
Yeah.
But people were thinking about education leadership, health and medicine, nonprofits, government, because all the different areas that we study and teach about at UMass Lowell, people had views on how women's leadership should be. And so it was very clear that we should have a women's leadership conference, and there was a lot of excitement, and I must have said something. And then because a couple weeks later, I received a note saying, would you like to be on the steering committee? And so I was on the steering committee for that first year. And then the following year, I became co-chair.
Wow.
And what's been great is we've had this partnership between the administration and faculty. And so we always have co-chairs, and we can bring different perspectives to the table. And we sold out our first year. So the other kind of funny thing was we had this meeting and we all decided, this was like in October, and like by maybe the next fall, September, we could have a conference. And Chancellor Maloney was awesome and said, we should have it in June. And
oh my gosh.
And everyone was like,
oh, okay. We can do
okay,
this.
right, exactly. So anyway, we
Wow.
Our chairs were then Dean Anita Greenwood and Lauren Turner, and they together pulled us all together, and we pulled together a conference, and it sold out. It was fabulous. And then the next 4 years we had conferences, and they all sold out. And then we had COVID, and we moved to a virtual conversation series, which a couple of which are on our website and are free, and people can hear.
Oh, excellent.
We had one on the future of work. We had a couple of different ones. And now we're back in person. Last year we were back in person, and we'll be back this year, June 21st.
Very exciting. So you've mentioned the partnership between faculty and staff and the professors. Who attends this? This isn't just for academia. This is for everyone.
Yes. As a matter of fact, Chancellor Maloney's vision was that we would really serve as a convening, it would serve a convening function, and that we would have thought leadership, and people would come to learn about women's leadership and to talk to each other about women's leadership. We've made a really big point about making it super interactive, and people say, when we look at the quotes from the after event survey, I left, super invigorated.
Excellent.
So who comes? We have kind of everybody. We have, mostly women, some men, always. Ranging from people bring their daughters, so maybe college age, but mostly recent college grads up through people, 60s, 70s, right? So we always, and one year we did a panel, and we had women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s on the panel.
Awesome.
Often people were in some type of transition or thinking about, should they switch roles? Should they do something different, even within their organization? So there's usually a good number of conversations about that. But also, we have plenty of people who it's just a great day to pause for the day and think about yourself, your leadership style, the impact you're having, what you want to be doing. And so it's just a nice, we keep it to one day specifically. So it's a very compact event.
Yeah, and it's easy to get away, easier, I should say, to get away for a day versus, a couple of days.
And we start relatively early at 8:30, and we just changed the agenda, so I'm just checking it. So we end at 4, and we have,
nice.
So I shouldn't say that. The content part ends at 4, but we have a networking reception we just confirmed this afternoon, open bar, wine and beer, and we just picked the menu, so I can promise you it's going to be excellent. So we have this nice little networking reception that people love. And if the weather is nice, we go out
on that area.
Right. And it's just, it's so much fun, like hearing the buzz, right? Because everybody is talking about all day and the activities of the day.
I know, and one of my favorite parts about going to a conference is just the connections you make with people.
Yes.
The conversations that you have.
Definitely.
It's like just so powerful.
Right.
To leave something like that after making those connections.
Yes. And we always get emails. I personally get emails, and, we have many people come back year after year, and they're excited to kind of see people again, though we have every year many new people as well. But I think we've built a really nice community, and we're very proud of that.
Oh, that's amazing. Let's talk about the program this year. Who are some of your keynotes?
Yes. So again, we've been incredibly fortunate over the years. We've had keynotes from Coca-Cola, from IBM, Scholastic, Broadway HD. Last year we had Abby Chin, who's the Celtic sideline reporter from NBC Sports Boston, who I believe may be attending this year, just as an attendee.
Awesome. That says a lot about a conference if one of your keynotes comes back.
Yes. Actually, if you check her Instagram feed, she posted about it yesterday.
Awesome. That's great.
So this year, we have General Ginger Gaglio. She's a general in the United States Air Force and the Massachusetts Air National Guard. Wow. She will be keynoting in the morning. I'll be moderating a conversation with her, and she's going to talk a little bit about her role in the Air Force. Great. She's a one-star general, brigadier general. She's basically responsible, I think she is responsible for the Massachusetts Air National Guard. I could have that a little bit wrong, but she will explain her enormous.
Well, I'm impressed.
She will explain,
regardless of how you describe it.
Her enormous job. She's super cool. I had the opportunity to go to Hanscom Air Force Base a few weeks ago and sit with her and discuss the conference. So she'll be there in the morning. She will give a presentation. She's going to show us a short video. We'll do Q&A, and there'll be Q&A from the audience as well.
Great.
And then in the afternoon, we have Pam Kwong from Santander, who Heather has been speaking with, my co-chair, and she is going to be, that one is going to be moderated by Mary Beth Hott from Enterprise Wealth Management. And so the two of them will have a fireside chat format. We don't like doing pure lecture, even though I'm a professor. We much prefer discussions. And so they'll do a kind of fireside chat. And Pam has an interesting background that I'm really looking forward to hearing. She not only is a very accomplished executive, but my understanding is she is a very serious and fabulous golfer.
Wow.
I don't think she's professional. I think she's very senior amateur golfer. And so she has a whole other kind of story and life about that activity. And I think she's going to talk about how that plays into her world. So we're very excited about having both of them.
Excellent. Oh, that sounds fabulous. What are some of the benefits of attending? I mean, I think we've already covered some of that, just the connections, the content.
So we try to balance. I mean, I think the content is fabulous. I'm biased, but the way we do this is we convene a steering committee of people from the university who go out and find people to come speak at the conference. I can tell you, because we've been adamant about it. We don't pay speakers, so we don't go to speaking bureaus. They're all people who want to speak at the conference, which is really great.
Yeah.
And so I think so, and we make it a point to ask people to provide takeaways. So why does this matter to people? What should they do differently the next day? And so, and we have panels, we have workshops. Some of the workshops are by, an individual running a workshop, and some are people who do this professionally. And then others are maybe a group of 4 or 5 people giving their stories. And so we definitely have the content.
Yeah.
And then we also have, as we said, the networking, the connections, the energy.
Yeah.
I think people come away I think it'd be fair to say, if you ask people as they walked out, is there anything that you think about a little bit differently because you were here? Is there one thing that you went, oh, that's interesting? I am 100% sure that everyone would say that there's something that they heard. So that's, I think it's the content and the connections and whatever the takeaways are content. And then people have access to our website, and content throughout the year as well.
Excellent. Yeah. And I mean, if you leave a conference with 1 or 2 takeaways, something that a different way of looking at something or something that you can implement or a resource, it's worth
Totally.
it. On top of everything
Right.
else.
Exactly.
Do you have any new features this year?
Yes, I was just thinking I can't leave out. So I went to a conference at MIT, 2 different conferences in the last year, and a gentleman named Ed Collier was doing headshots. So he's a professional photographer, and he had set up a studio in a room. And if you look on any of my social media, that headshot is by Ed.
Awesome.
And so we convinced him this year to come, and the conference is sponsoring him coming, so that all attendees will get free professional headshots.
That's amazing.
So there'll be a way to sign up with him, and then you can go and have him do it. And I can speak from personal experience. He's really a pro. And a quick side funny story. The other day, I was going to speak somewhere, and my husband said, "You should look like you look in your headshot."
No, he didn't.
I said, seriously? Like
how do you take that?
I said, first of all, that day I had professional hair and makeup because I was speaking as a keynote. And so I had professional hair and makeup for like an hour before the headshot. So I said, that's not happening, but thank you, honey.
Thank you. Well, now every day you can justify having a professional come and do your hair and makeup because he told you to look like your headshot.
Exactly. Anyway, I can highly recommend Ed. And so I would say, it's worth the price of admission just to get to have Ed do headshots.
That's a huge value too.
Yes.
I mean, you can pay hundreds of dollars to get a headshot.
It is. We were thrilled. I got in touch with him after I, contacted him, and he really supports nonprofits and education. Great. And so he was really willing to come and do it for us. And I think we're very lucky that he was willing to do it. And he was actually at the Lowell Conference Center this morning, scoping out the space because he's going to set up a professional studio in one of the conference rooms. And so, yes, I think that's a really good takeaway.
That's huge. I love that idea.
It's great.
What are some of the best sessions this year?
I saw this question.
No pressure.
And yes, I saw
You're like every session. Wait, every session is the best session.
I know. So I saw this question. I thought, this is like kids. You can't ever say like which is the best, right? Someone's going to be mad.
I love them all for different reasons.
I love them. They're all special. So I will not answer this question exactly, but I'll give you just some. I have the agenda right here, and I thought I'll give you some examples to show you the breadth of what we're doing.
Great.
So we have Leadership 101. Which we've had in the past and is always popular as kind of a particular leadership topic. And this year we have Accelerate Your Potential Through Personal Branding. I will also say that our website, which you can just search for the UMass Lowell Women's.
We'll post it with the link too.
If you click on the 2023 agenda, all of this is already on the website.
All right, so we'll share that when we post the video and the audio.
So we have leadership, we have Accelerate Your Potential Through Personal Branding. We have Lessons from the C-Suite, which is top management perspectives. Again, we're trying to hit kind of lessons from the top and also lessons from people who are only out a few years. We have building and sustaining powerful coalitions, which is kind of about creating groups, the strength of values-based leadership, a really interesting session on navigating gender politics at work. We've also heard a lot of people talking about these days imposter syndrome.
Yes.
So we have an entire session on imposter syndrome. We have a session on the power of body language. So this is where the faculty administration connection is great. We have a faculty member who has done research in this area and was very interested in it and knows some fabulous experts and was able to bring them in. We have one called Who Moved the Water Cooler? Encouraging collaboration and productive teams in today's dynamic workplace. So again, I would encourage
fabulous topics.
If you click on any of the sessions, we have descriptions and the names of the speakers are all on the agenda.
Excellent. We'll sure to share that, but that's really impressive. And none of this could be done without key sponsor.
Exactly.
So let's give them some love.
Yes, and I have the list right here. So at Chancellor's level, we have UKG, and we are incredibly grateful to them. Premier level, we have NetScout and Enterprise Holdings. Collaborating levels, Eastern Salt Company, and then partner level, Juniper Networks, Enterprise Bank, Broadway HD, Tesco, Peachbox, and Cedars. And I can tell you many of these, as I look at the list, have been multi-year sponsors.
Excellent.
So we super appreciate that. And I can also tell you, though they may not be listed here, we have various companies who have given gifts to us. So for example, you may see Lindt chocolate on the table. That's because Lindt is very generous, and they managed to give us way too many truffles, which is fabulous.
Hopefully you have some of those at the planning meeting.
No, actually we haven't for some reason. I'll have to talk to them about that. And then, but Cedars has given us hummus, and last year, like overnight oats, and so it's really fun. And we really appreciate our sponsors and all they do for us. We really, it's absolutely correct. We could not do this without our sponsors. And then, of course, the colleges at UMass Lowell, the various deans are super supportive. And excellent. I just saw we have fabulous towels from the Manning School of Business.
Ooh,
sport towels.
Nice.
Give a plug to the Manning School.
Yes.
So we'll have some good swag also.
Oh, that's amazing. And it's on June 21st.
June 21st. Registration is open. I would encourage you, please, to register. We're seeing, and we've heard this from other conference leaders and coordinators, that people are doing everything last minute.
Yes.
We will have to close registration at some point because one year we had a little problem with the fire marshals.
Yeah.
And so if people are planning to go, I would highly encourage them to register as soon as possible, and we'd appreciate it for our planning also. So yes, we have great momentum so far, and we're just really looking forward to getting to June 21st. And still welcome anybody who'd like to register.
Yes, it's fantastic. And before I let you go, you told me not to do this, but I'm still doing it.
Okay.
You just published a new book.
I did. Yes, thank you.
And you brought me a signed copy. I can't wait to read it.
Thank you.
It's available on Amazon.
It is.
Let me see. So, a copy of the book.
Yes, thank you. It's a great.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, it's published by MIT Press. It's available on Amazon and all the other booksellers. Internationally, if you go to MIT Press's website, it will show you where you can get it as well. And yes, I'd be happy to. It's on the future of work, and be happy to talk more about it on another occasion.
Yeah, I would love that. I mean, everybody's thinking about the future of work right now because it's changed so much since COVID, and so this is fantastic.
Great. And we are going to have the UMass Lowell bookstore, the university bookstore, will be on site at the conference, and we picked 7 books that are some of our favorite recent leadership books.
Yeah.
I'm biased, but that one will be there. And yes, so there'll also be an opportunity to buy some of the books if people are interested.
And I heard that you were there signing some
I'm
books
happy
today.
to sign.
So
Yes,
very nice.
Those are signed. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. It was my
took us a while
pleasure.
to get to this point. Texts and emails.
So appreciate it. No, yes. Always, a little hard to coordinate, but I appreciate it.
Well, anytime you want to come back, now you know how to find us.
Yes. Anyone who hasn't been here, amazing space.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and I'd love to have you back on. And I would be remiss if I didn't show that UMass Lowell mug today.
Very good. Very sporting.
Well, thank you all for tuning in to Chamber Chat. We'll be back again soon with another great guest. Thank you.